Good morning, Karen Wood. How are you?
Good morning, Nick. I'm very well, thank you. And how are you doing?
Fabulous, darling, fabulous. I'm ready to start our day, start our week, and share the love, which is a vital thing to say because not only do we share the love, we also share the stream, don't we?
We do. We do.
Please. So, welcome everyone to this continuation, really, of last week's special edition.
Yes.
Really, because we've got a wonderful guest coming up. But it's great to see you, Karen, and we are continuing as Richard promised. Let's see, when Richard makes a promise, he
He
doesn't
keeps
half
it.
pay off. We are going to be joined by the lovely David Carson. Some will remember David from when he was swanning around on the Monday show a while back. He's on to continue that conversation we had last week about the hypnotherapy
Mhm.
and some other bits and pieces, of course.
Yes.
But it's great to be back, Karen. What have you been up to?
Well, of course, I had a busy weekend, a busy week actually, but the weekend I was at the Arthur Finney College for the SNU East London District Council AGM. So met up with lots of people and had a fab. So that was basically the whole day because it took a while to
Yeah.
get there, etc. And then, of course, yesterday was Mother's Day. And thank you, Richard, for doing that lovely video that you did on Facebook yesterday for all the mums out there. It touched me, and I'm sure it touched other people as well. So I did nothing yesterday. I sat on the sofa. I had tea brought to me. I had presents, cards, watched Netflix, had my meal cooked for me. It was bliss, absolute bliss.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
And did you look
Brilliant.
after our lovely Linda?
We had a day out at a workshop.
Oh,
We had our monthly in hall workshop, jacket potatoes, cheese, beans,
mm-hmm,
lots of cake,
mm-hmm.
and it was called the Power of Gaia,
Oh,
ironically.
oh,
So Mother's Day, Mother Earth,
yeah,
and we did some. So I took Mum to my workshop basically.
yeah.
And we had that. We'd had the day out previously because I've got her flowers and
Oh,
cream
that's nice.
scone for Mother's
Yeah,
Day.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a busy week actually. Although yesterday I did talk my jaw to a standstill, so I might be a little bit quiet today.
Oh, you quiet? I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't think even with your jaw locked you can be quiet. Which that's what
This
we love about you, Nick.
this is this
We love
has
that
been
about
said
you.
in the past. It has been said in the past. But no, it was a lovely day, and we all talked about the power of Gaia and tapped into it a little bit.
Oh,
Talked about the
lovely.
difference between psychic and spirit, and the psychic and spiritual connotations of connecting to an organism like the planet Earth,
Hmm.
which was an interesting topic, and there was a
I
lot of
bet.
discussion.
I
And
bet.
there it was definitely a mother's meeting, that's for sure. Um, but just a reminder to everyone who's joining, because we're going to say hello to
We
everyone
are.
in
We
here.
are.
Just a reminder that we are on Zoom now, so you can come and ask David your questions directly when we get into it. But also, we are here for everyone, for the SPTV family, for our VIPs, and you can become a VIP should you so wish, but you don't have to. But it does help keep things going and
Yes.
flowing, and give us the opportunity to carry on what we're doing. But the easiest way, of course, to help is to share, to comment, and to make lots and lots of comments, give lots and lots of reactions, but share the what's it out of it.
Absolutely.
It's an easy thing to do, and we don't ask for a lot in this life, but I think the occasional share, throughout the show, share it to your friends, share it to the groups that you're on, share it to your own feed, and see what influence you can have on your friends to come and see what it is that we're up to, because we are going to be continuing what we spoke about last week when we touched on hypnotherapy. which is why we've got the lovely David Carson today. I'm excited. He's such a
So am
bubbly
I.
character. And of course, you haven't met yet, Karen. So,
No, as long as
you're
he doesn't
itching.
get me squawking like a chicken, I don't mind.
You know that tenor that I mentioned, David? It's still on. But no, all we ask, my friends, is that we share as much as possible. You can share it more than once, and it really does help get the message out. The SPTV is here to help people and provide a service. Sometimes 3 times a day. More often than not these days, it's 3 times a day.
Yeah, yeah.
And all we ask for is a bit of sharing and caring. That's
This
none of it.
this is such a diverse channel. I mean, the guests that we have on, they've all got some wonderful backgrounds and some stories to share. And I'm sure David will give us a wonderful insight into the world of hypnotherapy. And it's something that I've been a little, fascinated by, but also, one very wary, a little bit wary about it, if I'm honest. So I'm gonna really be sort of enjoying my chat with David because I want to find out a little bit more about it. And I think we've got some wonderful fit people on this channel. I mean, we'll have Kate May later on, who comes on
Yes.
every week to give insight into card of the day, and also we've got Minty May tonight at 8 o'clock. So there's lots of stuff that we do, and so share, please, because caring is sharing.
Absolutely. And of course, here is Minty May. Good
Ah,
morning to you. There he is. Morning, mate. Good to
morning,
see you.
Minty.
And
Nice to see you.
Kate May, bless her, she really is our in the field reporter. Well,
She
in
is.
the field, in the solar system, and in the universe reporter, because she's going all the different planets and all the constellations just to get this information for you as
She
well.
does.
That takes effort, bless her heart.
Yeah, yeah. She's with us every week, so that's lovely. Oh, we got Robert Mace. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Robert. And Kelly Rocket, good evening and good morning to Richard, Nick, and Karen. Of
Oh,
course, hello to the other side of the planet.
hello, Sam B. Oh, another the other side of the planet. Good evening. Nice to see you.
And Sharon Noor, good morning to you.
Hello, Rebecca. Lovely to see you again.
And here he is, the brother-in-law in spirit, Neil
Yes.
Payne. Good morning, Karen, Nick, Richard. Lazy day, Karen. How lovely, and a queen for a day.
I
Oh.
felt like it, Neil. I really did. Oh, hello, Linda. Lovely to see you too.
Nikki Prime, Neil Payne.
Oh, she's excited about seeing our Neil. Oh, bless her. Hello, Kim Byrne. Nice to see you.
Hi, Kim. And Susie Selby, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Sherry Daniels, all the way from Canada. Oh, what a beautiful place to be.
It's feeling very warmly international today.
It is, which is
Always
good.
is, isn't it? Kim Gary, good morning, everyone.
Ah, Kazza's in the house. Hello, Kazza.
Whoop, whoop. And Gail Davis, good evening to you.
Hello, Eunice, and your gorgeous picture of your lovely dog. And she shared. Thank you very much.
Well done. And Julie McVeigh, hello, Nick and Karen.
Hello,
To you.
Sophie. Nice to see you. Oh, well, yes, we do like a bit of joyous energy, don't we?
Oh, we do. We do like getting the spiritual blood pumping. Daniel Morris, morning, Nick and Karen. I do love that tractor.
Nice. Hello, Janelle. Oh, Nebraska, USA. Wow, how exciting.
Yeah. And April Phelps, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Carrie Ann Marshall, all the way from Canada.
And Nectaria, I love that name.
Ooh, yes.
I hope I pronounced it right for you.
Hello, Dawn. Nice to see you.
And good morning to Sheila G. Hello, jumping on from Texas as I get ready for work. Well, good morning to Sheila G and everyone in Texas. Get your friends in. I do love Daniel Morris's photo of the tractor, though. I am a fanboy. I live in the flatlands. We're neighbours in the flats now, of course. Karen, I know it's
We
a
are.
away, but it's
Yeah.
still technically the neighbourhood of the flatlands.
I gave you a wave when I drove past to go into the AFC on Saturday.
Yes, you'll have pretty much. Did you go down the A10?
No, we
Oh.
go A1, A14, but then when I see a sign for Ely, I think, well, you're over there somewhere.
Yes. And Sam Richards just said, and put your foot down. Absolutely.
No, one day I'm going to come. One day I'm going to come and knock on your door.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, do it. You know, if you went down the A14 from where you are, you will have passed a couple of the petrol stations that I formerly used to help in.
Oh,
Because there was two of them I've helped out at. Because you know what it's like being in the corporate world, you tend to
yes,
jump from place to place to place.
yes.
So you will have gone past things that are very close to me and my heart.
Oh, that's nice to
My
know.
days in the service of keeping people on the road
Yes,
were very, very important to me. And of course, today we come together to keep people on a different kind of road,
we do. We do.
and fuel for the mind, fuel for the soul.
Oh, I love that.
Um, and,
Yes.
you know, so, you know, I think that's why I'm very protective of the farming community because, you know, I think really we are spiritual farmers because we provide that nourishment.
Mm,
But you know, you've got to look after the body and the soul. So I am a big supporter of local farming.
yes, yes.
When I was in retail, we used to go direct to supplier, which is like you'd have the guy come in with his van
Yeah.
and offload his produce, and then he'd be off to sow some seeds. Bless his heart, he was a lovely, lovely guy.
Mm,
But I digress, but not really, because today is, of course, all about nourishment of the mind, body, and soul. And one of the most interesting ways of doing that is talking to someone who is very wise and knowledgeable and has the shiniest, happiest, smiling face in the universe. I've never seen him look miserable and down. He's always got a perky grin. So please welcome to our happy band of wanderers, the lovely David Carson. Good morning, Dave.
Good
Morning,
morning, Liz.
David.
Good morning, Karen. What an absolute joy to be sat here with you beautiful people today and all the lovely people that are watching the channel.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you. And I was excited because I'm quite interested in what you do, hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
And but I don't know anything about it. The only thing I've seen and had witness to is a group of us years ago went to see Paul McKenna do a show in a local theatre. And it was funny. And it was, you know, it made you think a little bit outside the box because he was making people do things, and you know, it was quite comical. But I do know that what you do can help a lot of people through some, you know, difficult stuff that they're going through in their life. So tell us a little bit more about you and how you started, because I'm new to all this, you see, so I'm a bit nosy.
No problem at all, Karen. And please excuse me, anybody, if they hear me coughing, because it's one of those things going on with the chest this morning. But the show must go on. That's what I like to say. But so basically, I also went to a hypnosis show back in 1984 when I was a young man, and I was with one of my friends who I knew really well, and he ended up going on the stage, and he was doing all this amazing stuff that
Mm.
I know for a fact he wouldn't normally do it. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was sort of hooked from then. And obviously, in them days, we didn't have internet or anything like that. And I found a course called the International Association of Hypnoanalysts.
Oh,
I know it sounds very posh. And I studied with them for a couple of years and became a qualified therapist. I actually practiced for about 5 years. But I've got to be honest, I struggled a bit because in them days we didn't have internet. You know, it wasn't that easy to get yourself out there. So eventually I ended up setting up a cleaning company. I was making a lot more money, and which was paying the bills. And I did that for quite a number of years. And it was COVID, really, when COVID came along.
Yeah.
Just a lot of my cleaning work. And I thought, you know what? It's always been in my heart. So I'm going to go back into helping people. And I retrained with some of the top people in the country, in Europe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, really. There I am.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, I love it.
So how can it help people? Because our lovely Linda here has just said, will it help me lose weight, David? So how can it help you?
Okay, well, basically, most people that come to see me, they don't have a conscious problem. If they had a conscious problem, they'd probably be able to sort it out themselves. So most people that come to see me have an unconscious problem. And I basically specialize in communicating with the unconscious mind, which pretty much runs the show, you know. I think, I'm not sure the exact statistics, but I think like Nick, Karen and Dave, we run about like, I don't know, 10%. The other 90% is the unconscious mind. So, so yes, slimming, you can certainly help people with slimming by obviously accessing their unconscious mind, of finding out whether there's an emotional root to the reason why they eat. Because a lot of people eat for comfort, you know.
Yeah.
There's a number of ways of using hypnosis to help with different things.
It's interesting because I know, and also I think people can stop smoking and things like that. I know people that it's really worked with as well. Last week we had quite an interesting conversation with Justin, who was on, and this is how Richard decided to come and ask you to come on. Is can you help people that are grieving as well? Can you deal with that?
Interesting question. If someone came to see me in regard to grieving, and let's say the situation happened like 3 to 6 months before, I generally wouldn't help them, because I'm a firm believer that it's important to go through a certain amount of grieving process. But obviously, if it goes on for like a number of years, then I'd probably step in and do my best to help them. And plus, not every, you know, if there was a technique that worked for everybody, you know, I'd be a multimillionaire. So it all depends on where you are on the threshold of change. So if you're really, really ready to change, then it's so much easier to help people to change. For instance, some people will call me up on behalf of somebody else. Yeah. And straight away I know, you know, that the fact that the person who you know wants to help hasn't called me, we've already got that situation in place there. Obviously, this person really wants them, you know, to be helped. And often those people where they've had pressure from the outside to change something and come and see me, it's a lot more difficult. You've got to be on the threshold.
We've got a lovely question here from Kelly, and she said, David, would you hypnotize somebody who is successfully medicated for a mental health condition?
Right. It depends. Obviously, it depends what it is. I do help people who are on medication. Some people, you know, would prefer to come off their medication because, as we all know, there's a lot of medications out there that can cause extra problems. You know. So yes, it depends what medication it is. If it's for some sort of psychosis, then it's sort of, you know, it doesn't fall into my space of where I can help people, because I'm not fully trained in that area. So it's really important, if you're a therapist, you know, you've got to work with the right people with regards to that. Definitely.
We haven't even had to ask people about questions, have we, Nick?
No, and this is the thing. You know, David's just such a bubbly person who draws people in, and it is a topic that really does get people thinking and asking questions. And as soon as I saw Kelly Rocket's question, I was going to jump on it myself. I've got to say very briefly before we move on to the next one, I'm absolutely over the moon and in awe of your answer about grief, David, because I absolutely agree with you that grieving is a natural process. You know, the thing that we tend to forget is that if we didn't care, we wouldn't get upset. And
That's
of
true.
course, because we care, we do get upset, and it's a natural part of proving how strong the love is. So it is something that is a natural process that we must, unfortunately, but must experience and process. It's when that process breaks down and it gets stuck that help is required. And I'm in awe of you for saying that, David, because you're absolutely right. And eclectic craft, that's one to say, Dodgy. I love
that's
that.
a lovely
Eclectic
comment.
craft. I've had David help me in a one-off session relating to a car accident and PTSD. It really made an amazing difference in just one sitting. Is that once again dependent on the situation and the person, or is that something that can happen frequently?
Interesting question, Nick. It can happen. It can happen. Most people that come to see me, they will often suffer, because I sort of specialize in anxiety, fears, and phobias. And with the anxiety side of things, there's a lot of things that have created it. So sometimes it can take like a few sessions to really get to the root of the problem. But yes, it does happen, and I wouldn't say it happens that frequently, but it certainly does happen. It really does.
Yeah. It's can anybody be hypnotized?
Everyone of sound mind, Karen. Everyone
Right.
of sound mind.
Thank you, Richard.
Do you know what? I'm actually quite touched, because Richard just said that's you and me out, Karen. He never mentioned me, so I must be.
No, he didn't.
Oh, there's no help for me at all. No, that's probably true.
It's interesting because some of my colleagues, or some of my peers, would say, I like to think there's different levels of hypnosis. You have light trances, deep trances, and some people say there isn't. But we all have our own opinions. So you can still do work with someone, if they go into a state of hypnosis. And basically, I don't know if you know this, guys, but I often ask people, have you ever been in hypnosis before? And they go, no. And I say, well, actually, you have. From the moment you came out the womb to about 7, 8 years of age, your brain was, I think it's a state of theta, probably got that wrong, hope I haven't, a state of theta, which is the same sort of state the brain goes into under hypnosis. And I think that's a sort of a natural thing of the body being able to absorb everything around it. So that it can learn to for self-preservation, and it absorbs literally everything, including the bad and the good. So
That's interesting.
You are right. It is theta, because theta then leads on to alpha.
Yes.
So yes, you're absolutely fine, David.
I don't want to get something fundamentally wrong.
We'll all allow an occasional slip up, darling.
Absolutely.
What Karen was just asking ties in very interestingly with Elaine Bellinger. I wanted my sister, who had mental health problems, to have hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't do it due to the risks. Instead, we had to use the NHS mental health service. Is that something that crops up?
It is, to be honest. It's just one of what we call a contradiction. Like, we can't work with people with epilepsy, for instance, people who are on psychotic medication. And it's just really, for sort of protection on both sides, really. Because especially if you're working on Zoom and you're working with someone with epilepsy and they have an epileptic fit, what you do, it's a bit of a tricky one. But there's lots of different types of therapy available on the NHS. Obviously, if I was a trained psychologist or something, then I would probably be able to work with them to some degree.
Yeah.
But the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, I mean, there's so many names for it. I mean, right now, your unconscious minds are like can see me, can hear me, and sometimes it's all about building rapport with your client, you know, to have an effective session. Because the unconscious mind's behind there, and it's weighing me up, you know, every moment. Especially when I do the swan technique, you know, because it knows at some point if they've got a situation, I'm going to ask it, look, are you prepared to help this person? So yeah.
Now we're seeing lots of comments about the titles of professional individuals, and you've made a couple of comments there where you've said, I'm not trained in that area, so I wouldn't touch it. So for everyone at home who hasn't seen you before we go on to this wonderful question from Clara, what are your what is your speciality field? What are your qualifications? What did you have to go through to get to where you are today?
Well, I'm a bit of a bookworm. I haven't got a TV, so I don't watch TV. So I spend most of my time studying. A bit of a nerd, but I like to say a cool nerd. You know what I mean? But I've done several different training courses, recognized training courses. Like I said, with some really, really revered, well-known therapists. I was interested in psychology, and I was going to do an open university course in it, but you know, things happen in life, crossroads and stuff, and it didn't happen. But I'm certainly trained to a standard to help people with anxiety situations, PTSD, fears, phobias, like even to the extent of helping people improve like their sports, like their golf swing or things like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is. It's another field, you know. It's past life regression, for instance. There's another area that often that's quite popular nowadays. It's really popular.
Yes.
I know a lady who does future life progression using hypnosis as well. Take people into the future, and they've come across some interesting things. It might be an area I'll move into at some point, but
yeah. That's interesting about, you know, I suppose sometimes we have doubts and fears within ourselves, don't we? And maybe hypnosis can help sort of get rid of those doubts and fears. You're going to have them all banging on your door, David, now. You know, they want to improve, you know, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's interesting. We have a question from Clara. She says, I have epilepsy, yet neuropsychs did it with me. So obviously she's been hypnotized, and she actually has epilepsy. So
I mean, I get that, and some people will, right? But the sort of organizations or the people I've trained with, you know, it was drilled into me. It's one of the contradictions. I'm not actually sure what neuropsychs is, whether it's a form of hypnotherapy. If I'm honest, it may well be.
I'm sure she'll tell us.
I'm sure she will, Clara.
Yeah, she will.
Clarify that if it's actually using the hypnosis. But like I say, you know, it just depends really where you've trained and how you've been shown, you know, who to work with and who not to work with, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Because of course, I suppose hypnotherapy is a tool that can be employed by other fields. So, for example, if one of these, you know, scientists who is a top expert in, you know, epilepsy and that sort of thing, if they employ it, it'd probably be different than, like you were saying, without that training. That's maybe where the risk is. I don't know, but we've got some help from Richard, the man of knowledge. Neuropsychologists conduct evaluations to characterize behavioral and cognitive changes resulting from central nervous system disease or injury like Parkinson's or other movement disorders. Thank you, Richard.
Nice.
Do you know what? You learn something every day on this.
You really do.
Don't you? Even I've learned
It's
something.
quite fascinating, really. We're learning all about these different things. It sort of broadens your mind and broadens your horizons. But I know a friend of mine thought about going to see a hypnotherapist because she's afraid of flying. But another friend bought a book about, how to cure your own fear of flying. And apparently they've done experiments whereby they put a young child in a room with some rodents, some rats, and the rats were with the child, and she was fine, and she was fussing them and everything. And then all of a sudden there was a noise in the room that made the child jump, like a bang or something. They made a noise. So the next time they put the rats in with the child, she was scared. So it wasn't the rats she was scared of, it was because of the noise that happened when she was fussing the rats. Does that happen often?
This is the what I call the amygdala in the brain, one of the oldest parts of the brain, which is responsible for the fight, flight, freeze response. And that processes primarily emotions. Excuse me. And when she heard that bang, it probably made her amygdala go, whoa. And that sound would be, if it was strong enough, and it doesn't have to be really strong to create this, that could be a potential future trigger for a amygdala. and like in that experience of her being with the rats with the bang, she was frightened. It was her amygdala just watching out for her, basically. And this is another important thing, actually. Our unconscious minds have always got our best interests at heart. They're always looking after us. They want to protect us and help us. And for instance, it can create conflict because the person's wondering, why am I like this? Yet there's a part of them within and that wants to say to them, look, I'm helping you here. Do you know what I mean? So you can get little conflicts going on. And what I do, I often act as the middleman between the unconscious and the person. And I do little deals in a way. Yeah.
Cut little deals. That's awesome.
Like Arthur Daly. Do you remember Arthur Daly?
Oh yes.
Oh, I loved it.
Where's your trilby though?
And your coat, and you've got to go to
the. You've got a great analogy, actually.
The Arthur Daly of the mind, David Carson.
Let's make a deal. Yeah,
exactly. It's very much like that. But if I can convince the unconscious or the subconscious or whatever you want to call it, that part of them that is creating these symptoms, then it will often play ball, and it can. Under hypnosis, I can change something because like the unconscious controls everything. Yeah, your heartbeat, your breathing, all those sort of things, and you can literally slow someone's heartbeat down. You can affect their body heat regulation in their body. You can help people with chronic pain. If they've got pain, you can literally get the unconscious to turn it down so it's still safe for them. It's just incredible what it can do, to be honest. It really is.
Well, it's what they call it, mind over matter, don't they?
Yeah.
That saying, mind over matter. So Alison's got a question here. She says, yes, I am quite shy, very much a nurturer. Could it be that was just the way I was going to be, not really due with childhood? What do you think of empaths? Do you think they are real?
Shyness. Okay, well, my peers would say, and I agree to some extent, that a lot of symptoms, especially like if Alison's shyness affects her life, right, then that's a situation. If it doesn't, then it's fine, because people only come to see me if it's really affecting their lives, really. But if it is affecting their life, then there could be some emotional root to it. And like I said before, it could be something really simple. It doesn't have to be something, you know, like massive that's happened to them. The empath part. No, I've got a lot of time for empathy. I think it's really important. I think we're spiritual beings. I think we, you know, we connect energetically like we are now, even though we're talking on a screen. And I think you can, you know, you can pick up with people. And to be fair, I guess I use empathy in my work, you know.
Yeah.
I go into my intuition, and I often work like that. If I don't just use hypnotherapy. I use a varied amount of techniques. I use integral eye movement therapy, which is incredible for getting rid of people's negative emotions from the past, you know, if it's associated with something that's happened to them, obviously. And as Nick knows, I use the incredible swan technique, which is getting and you don't need hypnosis for this. They're totally awake, and I get their unconscious mind. I basically ask your unconscious mind to take full control of the arm and the hand, and then I ask it to move the hand, and often it will go like this. And the person's not moving it. And then I can ask it questions. Give me a yes, it might be like that. Give me a no, it might be like that. And sometimes, as Nick probably remembers, I can get it to talk out of people's mouths. So I'm talking directly with the unconscious. And surprisingly, when I ask it whether it's part of, when this happens, are you part of this person's psychological makeup? It'll say, no, I'm actually a spirit that's helping them. And it could be like their auntie or something. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Wow.
Really.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It really, I'll be honest, and I've got to be honest, because I think it's only fair to be vitally honest, but also it adds a little bit more weight. I'll be honest, when I first saw the idea, I thought, oh, that ain't going to do anything to me. But my face said it all, because as soon as that went, I was like,
what? Absolutely.
And it really, really did work.
Yeah, it does. It's interesting as well, Nick. I mean, when I trained in this, and I trained, well, I haven't actually trained personally with the guy. His name's Bob Burns, a larger than life figure who actually discovered this technique. He was just sitting at home one day, and his arm was on the table, and his hand was like that, and he's got a great sense of humor. And he looked at his hand, he said, "Who are you looking at?" And it moved, and it freaked him out. And he developed the technique, and it sent him all over the world, you know, because people were fascinated with it, because it could really, really help. With this technique, I've managed to help people with loads of different conditions. And and often, like you were saying before, Nick, with this technique, often it's instant, you know. It's I asked for a part to come through that is associated or responsible for this particular condition. And it's working with the unconscious again. It's pretty much like it's hypnotherapy, you know, they really work well together. Obviously, the integral eye movement is slightly different. The idea behind that is that when the amygdala is processing emotions, when it's too much, it stops doing that job, and that emotion gets stuck in limbo, because another part of the brain called the hippocampus is responsible for putting these emotions or memories in their right place. But when the amygdala is really like freaking out, the hippocampus stops that job and starts flooding the body with adrenaline and stuff to help you fight or run or whatever. And the idea behind it is that these situations get trapped in the nervous system. And because the eyes are heavily connected with the nervous system, just by getting someone to hold on to a memory where there was a certain amount of emotion, moving the eyes like this, and on angles, you can basically take away all the negative emotion, and it just campus. I mean, it's only a model, you know, but the hippocampus, I assume the hippocampus then just files it away when it's supposed to go. And I think in all the time I've done integral eye movement therapy, I've only had one lady that has said that she got some emotion back from it, but everybody else, they've never been able to get that level of emotion back because the brain processed it. And it could be that with that lady, maybe when I'm doing the eye movements, you've got to hold that memory in your mind, and maybe she, you know, because when you're moving the fingers like this, it distracts you. So, but really rapid, different to hypnotherapy, obviously. But what a great.
Speaking of different, I love that word. Speaking of different modalities, we've got a lovely question here. I love this word. Wendy Victoria has just asked, sorry, I've only just joined. Don't forget to share then, darling.
Hi, Wendy.
Sorry, just joined. Are these modalities of NLP that you are discussing? Now, this is where I'm going to ask you for some clarification because I've heard it called something else. Natural language processing, NLP, is the ability of a computer program to understand human language as it's spoken and written. I'm also aware of an NLP in psychotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming. Are they similar, separate, different? What? Because you know, my students in Circle, they're always saying, oh, the more you get an answer, the more questions you get. Well, they can see today that I'm in the same boat. So,
yes, yes.
Help.
Oh, right.
There we go. Whoever put, was that Richard who put that on there?
So this is a continuation of Wendy Victoria. Oh,
yeah.
So Richard, bless you, Richard. He's always giving good feedback for us and helping us with things we're not sure of. What is NLP? NLP is approach to communication and personal development that focuses on how individuals organize their thinking, feeling, and language. It has been used to assess and treat a variety of clinical symptoms, including depression, anxiety, and stress. I can confirm that because my therapist used neuro-linguistic programming.
Exactly.
Me.
I mean, that if I'm honest, the only NLP that I'm really aware of is a neuro-linguistic programming, which pretty much does a similar thing. Neuro is to do with the brain. L is language. What how what we say and what we say to ourselves. And programming is obviously the programming that surrounds us all the time. And if we do something enough times, it's going to be programmed into us. And you can I don't know if the word's deprogram. I'm not sure, I think it might. You can deprogram it out as well as so yeah, I'll have to check that out, but it looks like a very similar thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mind is fascinating because there's so much we don't know, and I think there's so much we don't use, and there's so much that maybe scares us a bit, but sometimes I wish I could press the reset button.
Yeah, well, you can with a for your nervous system. There's a few points on the body, like here. If you tap just on the clavicle bone there, that's like a reset of a computer. On the hat, like that, it's like a reboot.
Interesting.
Reboot, the same thing, but this one's where all the major nervous system sort of hub is. And this is another one. So if you're ever really stressed out, it's part of it, the emotional freedom technique.
Yeah.
Set up for emotional freedom technique.
Yeah. I have heard of that. So
really good technique.
I'm just going to ask. Oh, this is a question for me actually. Why is it that I hate driving, and it scares me to death? I do it because I have to, but if I've got to do a drive in a new area or a long drive, I have to get myself psyched up. I'm terribly nervous and I'm panicking inside. How can I stop that?
Well, with that, if I was using if I was using integral eye movement therapy, I would say, Karen, when you access that memory of you driving, that emotion, is it very familiar to you? You might say it's very familiar. Then I would say to you, well, when's the first time you can ever remember feeling that emotion? and then I'll get you to regress a little bit and go back to the earliest memory that you can remember. Then I'll get you to hold on to that memory, and then we'll do the eye movements.
Oh.
And that will take all that negativity out of that experience, which in all probability will affect your current moment driving, because it's all related. You know, it's all like dot to dot to dot to dot. It's like if I did that with you, and we say you said, oh, this memory I've got it to 10, you know, because I always like to get a gauge of where they are. And after we finish, it's a 2. Then that means your brain's processed that emotion now and took the negativity out. And it's a bit like a tree falling in a forest and knocking other trees down. They all, like 100 trees might fall down, because these points in time where there was an intensity of emotion will spread out to other things, and you can affect all those other things as well by doing like a particular session, going back in time. So it's always good to regress people back, because the earlier you go back, you know, the more chance you've got of getting somewhere with it.
Well, that's good to know, David. I might even do that at some point and get in touch with you. No, the reason being, it's becoming a pain for me now, because it's more and more. I overcame it for a while by driving every day, but now when I get in the car, it's getting worse. Especially as I've moved to an area that I'm not familiar with, and I'm having to find my way around as well as drive. You've
got an internal representation of what it's like to drive, and like Nick, I don't know if you remember, Nick, I did the swish pattern once, and I really got into it, didn't I? And you were saying, God, my therapist wasn't as like excited as you, because I know put like more exciting into it. It sort of heightens the whole thing. But you could even ask you know, where do you feel that feeling in your body, Karen? If you add a color, what color would you give it? If I add a shape, what is it? And we can change it. We can change what. You know, you just have to change the internal representation. That's like a form of NLP. Or you can do like a timeline therapy, where you go back way before the very first time you experience that, and you look forward in time. And I ask you, can you feel that emotion now? Because you can't, because it was before. Obviously, it's a bit complicated going.
Well, what I'll do is I'll get in touch with you afterwards and get this sorted out, because it's becoming a pain now.
I've helped a lot of people on planes. You know, being flyers, flying spiders.
I have to say, we had a lovely comment from Jason a moment ago about this is what people don't realize: the subconscious is designed to protect. And it was what you said earlier on about you know, turning the dial up or down depending on whether there's that issue inherent in that. What I will say, of course, is, my good friends, don't you touch that dial right now, because we're going to take a quick break and see what the lovely Kate May has got to say for your week ahead from her wonderful tarot scope. But we will return after our beautiful colleague Kate has shared with you that wonderful look into the next 7 days. So don't go anywhere, because me and the lovely Karen, the wonderful Richard, and the gorgeous David will be back right after this. So Karen, what time is it?
It's Roland Richard time.
Hello everybody, my name's Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. Let's have a look at your week ahead tarot readings for each zodiac sign. It is the 11th of March. Okay, Aries, we've got rest and recuperation this week, Aries. It's going to be really important, Aries, that you mentally perhaps take some time out, or physically take some time out there. Step back from things if it's feeling a little bit overwhelming for you, and try not to overstress yourself, over worry about things. Taking a pause or just changing the scenery is going to be good for you. Taurus, victory over adversity. You're making waves this week, Taurus. You're going to start to feel like you're on top of things. You're going to start to feel like you are winning over situations. If things have been quite challenging for you, Taurus, don't worry about it. Stay focused, stay on track. You're overcoming things now. This is my favorite card, by the way, Taurus, the Chariot card. Keep on going. Travel opportunities could come in there. It's a sense of winning and getting over things to bring you in alignment to your purpose there. Gemini, Wheel of Fortune, action is happening, taking a chance, moving things forward this week. Luck is on your side, Gemini. So you should start to see things going from one transition to another or from one option to another. Take a chance. There could be some learning, education, training that comes up for you as well this month, this week, Gemini. Expanding things for you. Luck is on your side. Cancer, new ideas coming in around you this week, Cancer. You might find you've got some inspiration, a spark of inspiration. You hear some good news. Something could come around you out of the blue, unexpectedly. You just go, bing, I know, I want to do this. Or what a great idea, I'm going to take that forward. It is potential as an ace. It's a new beginning, but it's potential. So then you have to do something with it. Plant that seed. Excellent week for planting seeds this week, Cancerians. You can do it. Leo, oh, another ace, Leo, loving it. Love is in the air for you this week, Leo. That lovely new moon in Pisces may make you feel a bit more lovey-dovey than usual. Embrace new opportunities, embrace new spiritual things around you, Leo's there. Good news is coming, and perhaps a love opportunity is there. Open the door to new things. Virgo, Hermit, got your own card, Virgos, this week. So take some time out this week, Virgos. It's going to be really important to contemplate, to think about things, perhaps just go a little bit slower. Hopes and dreams, things you put in a little box, Virgos. This could be the week where you start to unlock that box and reach your full potential there. Looking after your health this week, Virgo, could be important as well. It's just like you want to pause everything this week, Virgo, to get your head together, really. So taking a bit of time out, meditation would be excellent to think about what it is you want for the next stage. Libra, could be a little bit of worry on your mind this week, Libra. However, this is my card to say worry is unnecessary. Everything's going to be all right. So try not to worry. Easier said than done sometimes. You might find that you've got a bit of anxiety this week, Libra, or that you're overthinking things. So try and change the scenery a little bit, or change that mindset into thinking more positive there. Scorpio, you're juggling things this week, Scorpio. You might be robbing Peter to pay Paul a little bit. However, you can manage that. Could be 2 or 3 different jobs coming in around you, or 2 different options here. Perhaps you're weighing up and going to make some priorities, make some changes around prioritizing things here. Practical things are going to be really important this week for you, Scorpio. So your health and your well-being, but also physical, so money, perhaps home opportunities there. Choices and decisions need weighing up. However, you are in a very good position to be able to get things balanced this week, Scorpio, okay? But prioritize things, I'm going to say. Sagittarius, trust your gut feeling. All might not be clear on the outside, so it's going to be really important that you follow what feels right on the inside. There could be some secrets going on, but equally you might find, Sagittarians, that this is the week you're going to start to join a psychic development group, or your emotions and intuition is going to be heightened. Perhaps that new moon in Pisces is really starting to get things going for you. Capricorn, working hard as usual, Capricorn. It's time to finish projects, put all your eggs in one basket. Try not to be too scattered with anything, Capricorn. Pay attention to detail. Get on with it, because it's going to be worth it. The outcome will be great. You'll be feeling like, I've done a good job here. It's going to be worth it for you. But pay attention to detail and don't miss a trick. It's going to be really important to be super focused on certain areas this week. Capricorn. Ooh, and working hard, I'm just going to say working hard is going to pay off in abundance for you. Aquarius, should be feeling comfortable this week, Aquarians, feeling a lot more comfortable around yourself. Your hard work is paying off. Fruition is coming around you. Pamper yourself, treat yourself, enjoy yourself a bit more. And Pisces, birthday week for some of you Pisces. Good news is coming. Look to the future with hope, optimism, make some positive changes. Good news is coming to pave the way for new opportunities for you. Enjoy.
Big shout out of thanks to our fellow SPTV host there, the lovely Kate May. I hope you all have great things to look forward to for your week ahead. As for the next few minutes, we've got something really interesting to look forward to, because one of the things that SPTV loves to do is demonstrate. And we've spoken about it, we've talked about it. And Karen, you mentioned your issue with the driving.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so David has agreed to go to work on you
Yes.
if you so do consent and consider it appropriate to do so.
I fully consent to have a go at getting rid of my phobia with driving. So any help will be gratefully received.
Absolutely. Now, Hales Bell said, I think the driving thing is very common. And you know what, Hales, I actually agree with you. So Richard has arranged the screen so that David can be better seen. So if you've got full screen functionality, and hey, if you're watching on YouTube on your telly and it's full screen anyway, you are going to really, really love this. Because you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to say something that I don't very often say, which is why my jaw's been a pain this weekend. I'm going to shut up for a little while and hand you over to Karen and David.
Woo-hoo! Karen, fantastic.
Yes.
I'm glad you want to give this a go. So what I'd like to do first with you is the swan protocol. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
to do this, you need to get your elbow on a table so I can just see your hand. Okay. And it's really important that you watch your hand and your fingers and make sure that hand's really relaxed. Okay. So
Okay.
it's a bit like a swan. That's where the name comes from.
Right. Okay.
So when I do this, Karen, I don't want you to help me with it, and I don't want you to fight me with it. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Three things are going to happen here.
Yeah.
Three things. Your hand's going to move. Your hand's going to feel like it's going to move, or nothing will happen at all. But it's all good feedback. So we're just going to go into this quite quick. Yes, they can. People at home watching right now, you can also do this as well, just to see if you get any movement of your hand. And it'd be good to get your comments to see if you did. So, Karen.
Yes.
Please forgive me, but I'm not going to be talking with you anymore, Karen, because from this moment on, I'm talking with your unconscious mind. So, Karen's unconscious mind. Yes, I'm talking directly with you. Is it possible today that you can take full control of Karen's left arm, left forearm, all her fingers in her hand, taking full control of all the muscles, all the nerve endings, everything you need to take control of, so that in the moment when I ask you, you'll be able to move Karen's hand or maybe one of her fingers, or give her a little movement of her hand like so. So Karen's unconscious mind, I'm assuming now you're beginning the process of taking absolutely full control of all those muscle groups throughout the arm, the forearm, the hand, right through to the fingers. Now, Karen, you might be feeling a few little tingles or something like that. It's quite common. You might not.
Yes. Yes.
So I just want you to make sure that hand's really relaxed for me, Karen, really relaxed.
Ooh.
Karen's unconscious mind. God bless you. And thank you for taking part in this demonstration, by the way. And it is just a demonstration for the viewers to see that we're never alone. We've always got someone with us at all times, your unconscious parts. So now I'd like to ask Karen's unconscious mind, is it possible today that you can possibly at all maybe show us some movement of Karen's hand? Or the people that are watching that are also doing this, talking to everybody's unconscious minds, assuming you took full control of all those muscle groups. I would like your unconscious minds now to begin that process of moving the person in question's hand for me. So just keep watching your hand for me, Karen. Just see if you get any movement. So I'm going to ask.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so I would like to ask your unconscious mind, Karen, is it possible it can move your hand around towards your face? So remember, don't help me with this, Karen. Don't fight me with it, and just see what's happening. Just let me know if you get any movement of your hand towards your face.
I am.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'd just like to say to Karen's unconscious mind, thank you so much for taking part in this demonstration. And I am aware that Karen has a situation with her driving, and it's something that, you know, causes her some concern and some stress, maybe some anxiety. And she would really, really love to be able to drive comfortably with ease and, you know, to drive without any stress or anxiety. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Karen's unconscious mind. if I was to ask you a question and the answer was yes, how would you show me a yes? Can you show me a yes? It can be a movement of one of her fingers. It can be a movement of her hand. If you could just show me a yes. Oh, wow, that's amazing. What finger was that, Karen?
My finger next to my thumb.
Finger next to your thumb. Okay, that's fantastic. Oh, I'd like your unconscious mind just to relax that finger now. Just relax that finger. So that, just remind me, was that a yes or a no, Nick? Okay, I think if I asked you a question and the answer was yes, was that index finger? That's correct. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Correct. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Karen's unconscious mind, is it possible that you could show me some sort of movement for a no? Maybe a no. Show us a no. If you can show us a no, that would be amazing. Is that your little finger? Pinky. Fantastic. Now, Karen's unconscious part, once again, I can't reiterate enough that what a joy it is to communicate with you. And I know you've got Karen's best interest at heart. Is it possible, is it within your realm, is it within your power that you can help Karen today with this situation she has with driving? Is this something that you can help her with?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Is it possible that you can is it possible that you can give Karen some healthier options to what she normally experiences when she drives, some healthier options for when she's driving? Is that something that you could possibly do today? Fantastic. Okay. So what I would like you to do, if you're happy with this, Karen's unconscious mind, I would like you to put a healthier option within Karen's psychological makeup, within her mind, so that when she's driving, she is more calmer, more relaxed. Is that something that you can do today to make her more calm and more relaxed and to actually enjoy the experience of driving?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So, Karen, I'm talking to you now, Karen. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like, if you, I want you to think about a time when you were driving. Yeah. I mean, can you take your mind to a time when you felt uncomfortable when you're driving? Is there a particular?
All the time.
All the time. Okay. So what if I took you into the future? Would you be able to imagine yourself coming out your front door, getting your keys out your pocket? Just close your eyes for this. Getting your keys out the pocket, you're walking towards your car, yeah, and you're about to get in, and you're going to drive to a destination. How does that feel at the moment in your mind?
Bit scary.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Karen's unconscious mind now. Is it possible that you can turn that off for Karen? Can you turn that scary feeling off for Karen? Can you do that right now? Can you do that for me, please? Just give me a confirmation that you've just been able to do that for me. Okay. So now, Karen, I just want you to close your eyes again and just get that same image again. You've just walked out your front door, you get your keys in your hand and you go into your car and you're about to go on a journey. Do you feel any different now?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. So Karen's unconscious mind, is it possible that you can reduce that feeling of fear? Reduce it all the way down to maybe a 1 or a 2. Is that something? Oh, you can't. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So we have, is there a good reason why Karen should be afraid when she's driving? Is there a good reason for that? No. Okay. So sometimes this happens, yeah. You get this sort of contradiction in terms of the unconscious. And this is where I have to, in a way, persuade, maybe not the right word, but to show the unconscious mind that it's going to be in Karen's best interest. Okay, so Karen's unconscious mind, I'm sure you realize if Karen was to get in a car and she was feeling calm and she was feeling relaxed, that is going to affect her body in a positive way. And would you not agree that that would be good for Karen? Is that good for Karen to feel that way when she's driving? Okay.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, are you willing to help her feel like that when she's driving? And is that something you can do right now, just like flicking a switch? Is that something you can do right now? Okay. This is one of those times where we'd have to spend a bit more time together, Karen, to get to the bottom of it. Okay. So you can just relax your hands for a moment now. I don't know if we've got time, Richard, if we had to do a very quick, which takes about 5 minutes, some integral eye movement therapy on this. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay. So obviously the last technique, we could go deeper and further into that. And at some point, I would probably, in all probability, be able to get your unconscious mind to help you with this.
Yeah.
So it's in two minds at the minute. It could be another part's not happy about it, and I'll bring that other part in, see. But anyway, let's go on to the integral.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bit I'm okay. I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah.
I know why Nick's asking that, because I think last time we did it, someone got a headache, didn't they, or something? I can't remember. It's very rare. But this technique I'm going to do now with you, Karen, is called integral eye movement therapy.
Okay.
And like I said before, the idea is that we have things within the nervous system that is basically trapped. So I want you to, once again, just go back into that time when you were driving, when you felt really uncomfortable. Just close your eyes to do this for me.
Okay.
Just notice that feeling you've got and just tell me what that feeling's like.
I feel tense.
You feel tense.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that feeling you're feeling, is it my gosh, I forgot the word. Is it familiar to you? Do you recognize that feeling when you're driving?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you now, Karen, when was the first time you ever remember feeling like that? And it might not be the first time you ever remember feeling like that, but the earliest time you can remember feeling that emotion, and just see if you can access anything. And you don't have to go into detail about it.
In my early time of driving.
Okay. So you've got this memory, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, excuse me for a second, I've got to get a pen because this is quite important. And a bit of paper. So Karen, as you access that memory now, is it a video or a picture?
It's I can remember it like it happened. Yeah.
Okay,
like a video.
so is it a video? Yeah. And does it feel close to you or far away from you?
Quite close.
It's quite close. Okay. And is it vivid?
Yes.
Okay, it's vivid. Okay, fantastic. Now, Karen, as you access this memory now, as you sit in this chair talking with me, if 0 was, hey, it's all good and I'm happy, and 10 was, it's a nightmare, where would it fall between 0 and 10?
About 8.
Okay, so we're talking at 8, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, in a moment, I'm going to move my hands from side to side like this, okay?
Right.
If my finger goes out the screen, it doesn't matter, because what I want you to do is, as I go over to, I think that's your left, is it? Is that your left?
Yes, yeah.
That's it's my right.
Yeah.
As it goes over to your left, I want you to take your eyes right to the peripherals, okay?
Okay.
So even if I go out the screen, take your eyes right to the peripherals, and the same with the right, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to do this, and then after a little while, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to go on the angles like that. So you put your eyes like that. Can you see my eyes?
Okay. Yeah.
So right to the peripherals on the side to side, and same with the angles.
Okay.
Now, really important thing here, Karen, is that you keep your head really straight, okay?
Yeah.
Because we tend to move our head with our eyes. And the other most important thing, right, is that you hold on to that memory as much as possible.
Okay.
This allows the brain to be able to process it, okay? So you ready?
Yeah.
You rearing?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Here we go. Right, so we're going to begin, Karen. Keep your head straight. Hold on to that memory for me, okay?
Yeah.
That early days when you were driving.
Yeah.
And here we go. You take your eyes right to the peripherals. Here we go. And just hold on to that memory. Keeping your eyes, taking them right across to the peripheral. So you feel a bit of tension. Holding on to that memory for me, Karen. Hold on to it. Hold on to it for me. Really important. And hold on to that memory. The early days of driving, that particular time. Okay. And now I'm going to stop in the middle. And then we're going to go up on that angle and all the way down on the angle, all the way up, all the time, holding on to that memory, that early days of driving, that particular time. And I'm going to go back in the middle and I'm going to go on that angle. Take your eyes all the way up, all the way down on the angle, all the way up, all the way down on the angle. Okay. And then back in the middle. Karen, do you know your telephone number backwards? Come on, quick.
No, I don't.
Well, everybody else does. No,
Oh, well, I don't.
I've had a few people that remember it easy as you like. But anyway, let's go back to your memory, right? This particular memory. I just want to ask you some questions about it. I want to ask you, has anything changed about it? Like that video, has it got a bit blurry? Has it moved away a little bit? Is it any different at all? Be honest with me.
I feel calmer. I don't feel so tense.
Okay. So
and it's a bit blurry.
Bit blurry. Perfect
Yeah.
answer. Does it still feel as close to you, or does it feel like it's moved away a little bit?
It's moved away a little bit.
Okay. And is it as vivid?
No.
Okay, fantastic. So we're going to do one more set of eye movements. You've become a professional at this now, Karen, so you're going to be able to do it easy as you like. Once again, keep your head really straight. Hold on to whatever you've got left of that memory. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
And all the way over there, all the way over there, all the way over there, all the way. Holding on to whatever you've got left of that memory. Holding on to whatever you've got left of that memory. Whatever you've got left of that memory. Take your eyes right to the peripherals. Beautiful. You're professional. Okay, now we're going to stop and now we're going to go up on the angle and all the way down, all the way up on the angle, all the way down. Holding on to that memory, really important. Keeping your head really straight. Doing really good, Karen. Well done. And now that way, and all the way down on the angle, and all the way down, and all the way up, and all the way down, and all the way up, and boom! Have you got any pets, Karen?
Yes.
What have you got?
A dog.
Oh, what's its name?
Oscar.
Oscar. I love people on the field because I go running around the field and they're like, Oscar, get over here! You know, because it's ran off, and some of the names are the funniest names you've ever heard.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's lovely.
It enlightens my walk around the park. So let's go back to the memory again, Karen. So the video got a bit blurrier. Is it still a video now? Has it turned into a picture or anything like that?
It's sort of just a small picture. It's not really, it's like a small picture. It's not, before I was in it, but now I'm just out of it, if that makes sense.
So it's changed a fair bit. Has it got any less vivid than the last time we did the eye movements?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And has it moved any further away? Just a matter of interest.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's really in the distance now.
Well, let's go for a number then. Okay, what number would you say you are now? 0 being it's all good, 10 being a nightmare.
I'm about a 4 now.
About a 4. Okay, so a 4 is good. Okay, anything over a 4, do another set of eye movements. A 4 is good enough because your brain will keep on processing this particular instance. Now, what I want you to do for me, Karen, I want you to try really hard, okay? Really, really hard. I want you to do your best to get it back up to an 8. Really try and get it back to an 8.
Can't
do it because now your brain's processed it.
Yeah, yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, and from my experience of doing the technique, you'll never be able to get that back again.
Oh, thank God for that.
Now that
Thank you, David.
So I'd just be interested. I mean, I do a lot. If I was working with you one-on-one, we'd do a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
It would just be interesting to see, you know, what it would be like. So let's do that. Let's just see. Don't feel, like I said, I'd probably have to do more work on this. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm not expecting anything amazing, but let's just close your eyes a minute. Okay, and just imagine you do whatever you do when you go out the house and you get your keys in your hand and you're going towards your car and you open the door, you get in your seat, you get comfortable, you might put your seatbelt on. Well, I hope you do. And then you,
I do.
I'm sure you do. And then you start the engine, and just imagine it for me now. Just imagine what it feels like now, and just see if there's any difference at all.
I feel a lot calmer.
You feel a lot calmer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, there would need to be more work done on that. But like that's how it works, and it can be really rapid. You notice how the video became blurry. It's a very classic answers you gave me. This is what happens with the majority of people, and it's so quick as well. So like if someone's suffering with anxiety, I can show them a list like anger, jealousy, sadness, whatever, and we can do them all. And they'll go, they'll regress back to a time where like the earliest time they can remember, which is really important, because like I said earlier on, that will fell lots of trees in the most beautiful possible way. So that's how
interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. The fact that we got some movement to the swan's a great thing, because it was just that someone said, is this not the case of the subconscious and the ego disagreeing with each other? Well, I look at it this way. I look at it, we have got lots of different parts within us responsible for different things. So like a smoker who wants to stop smoking, he may have a part that doesn't want to stop smoking. So you have a conflict. So from my experience, I would have thought that there will be another part within Karen that wasn't too happy about this, because that felt strongly that it was helping you to do that. And it's about having congruence with all the parts to actually move forward and get some success.
I'm going to say, watching from behind the scenes, firstly, I'm assuming that everyone's been having a go, and if you have, let us know how you got on, because the family have been ever so quiet, just really actually considerate and quiet, and not commenting. So let us know how you got on first and foremost. But there are a couple of things.
Fascinating. There you go. Absolutely fascinating.
Tony's jumped in with that's really interesting. The interesting thing for me watching is that I didn't actually feel that contradictions may be the right word, because you've just hit the nail on the head. It might feel like a contradiction, but as you said, that the subconscious is trying to protect, trying to look after, and there would have been a part of Karen's watching for, and Jason's saying, yeah, that's what I was referring to. Hi, Jason. One of the things for me was, there's a part of, especially from what you'd said before, there's a part of Karen's subconscious mind that's saying, no, if she relaxes, she'll take less care. So I'm not going to let her relax because I'm protecting and looking after her. So I saw that really quite obvious in Karen's responses there. But to see that change as well was absolutely amazing. And the comments, we didn't break the internet. Everyone was watching intently, because everyone's been really enjoying watching it. I certainly did. Helen Smith has just said, my hand went really stiff and was aware of the thumb and little finger feeling stiffer. I thought about my anxiety and felt more relaxed after.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. And you've got me thinking, David, if I may, your the integral eye movement therapy. I've been playing, as I frequently do. I like to mix it up with the technology and stuff, and occasionally I feel a little bit lazy and a little bit distracted. So I've got these mobile phone VR head things.
Oh yeah.
And I've when I start doing meditations for other people and myself, I go to something called the room of the mind, which is basically the mists that roll behind your eyelids just back a bit and turned into walls. And I've created that in a VR environment.
Wow.
So if I'm feeling bored and lazy, I can just go there and it will help kickstart it, especially if I'm distracted. Would something like that VR, like a moving ball in a VR 360 environment, be something that could be used for that?
Absolutely. Well, the EMDR, eye movement, I can't even remember the full word, but EMDR, everyone knows, well, not everyone, but people are aware of EMDR. They actually use a light that goes from side to side like that. Whereas we use the fingers. And yeah, I mean, if I ever get stressed out, if I do get stressed out, eye movement desensitization, absolutely correct. If I get stressed out, sometimes I will focus on the emotion, and I'll just move my eyes from left to right, left to right, left to right, while holding on to it. So I use it for myself as well. So yeah, I think you could do that, Nick. You could do that.
I'm going to give it a go for it. I'll give it a go, create it. It'll need one of those things, but I'll send it to you, see what you think.
Interesting.
You might be able to make use of it. Richard, bless his heart, has
been doing his research.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Richard's been researching again. What is EMDR therapy? Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy is a mental health treatment technique. This method involves moving your eyes a specific way while you process traumatic memories. EMDR's goal is to help you heal from trauma or other distress in life experiences. Well, I've certainly seen what I perceive as results, but you know, Karen, we are going to interview you next week to see how you've got on in the last 7 days. Eunice has just said, yes, it worked for me. A bad memory has not been erased, but it's still there, but no longer a problem.
Exactly that, Eunice. Yeah, you can never get rid of the memory. Never get rid of it. You can take out the negative emotion, though. You can definitely take that out. And also with integral eye movement therapy, not only does it work with the emotions and feelings, it also works with identity, because often when we go through life, we can regress to certain ages. So if you're like, for instance, confrontation, you might go to 14 years of age, or you've heard of the saying, oh, he's throwing his toys out of the pram, or she's throwing her toys out of the pram. In all probability, they've regressed to a very young age, and that's what they would have done. And with integral eye movement therapy, we can get the client working from a current age in different situations. It's really interesting.
What was interesting for me when you were doing the swan, it was like, you know, when someone else takes over your computer screen and you've got no, that's what it felt like. It was like, I'm moving my hand, but it didn't feel like it was me. It felt different. I felt the tingles, like you said. I felt that even before you said it. I was thinking my hand is, but it was like I was sort of like, because I was watching it, but I couldn't believe it was happening.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of a struggle there. I suppose that's the me in it. I suppose I don't know. But when it worked, it was like something had sort of taken over my hand. It was really, really strange. But
it is strange for most people, because, you know, for one thing, you're telling them that you're going to be able to communicate with your unconscious mind. And it's not something we do every day.
No.
And for something to be moving your hand without you moving it is a little bit freaky, to be honest. Yeah, I did it on my 12-year-old daughter. It freaked her out a little bit, to be honest. But I've recently used it for her skin, because she had really bad acne. She's like 13, and her skin, believe it or not, I was astounded. Her skin cleared up within 2 weeks.
Wow.
Crazy. Absolutely
amazing, isn't it?
Before we go to our ad break, because we do want to let people know what's going on in the week, just two things really. Joanne Lewis says, I remember when you did this for me with nerves getting up on the platform, and now I've done platform twice successfully and felt fine doing it, so thank you, David.
Oh, that's brilliant, Joanne.
Wonderful. And then Tony Coppins has said, can you do this on the replay? I would assume not. But David, can they do it on replay?
Yes, they can. Yeah,
there you go. So absolutely fine. And I suppose if I'm thinking about playing with a big red bouncing ball in an open space in a VR environment, that will be a replay too. So I'm actually going to make that for you, Dave, and pass it on to you. Let you have a look at it and see what you think.
Play about with it, definitely.
And play about with it. You might want to make use of it. Jason, yes, a really, really good point there. I tried it, but I think I resisted. I tend not to be overly willing to be hypnotized. There has to be some kind of ability to let go, and a want maybe to let go is probably the wrong word, but in a similar
But the swan isn't really being hypnotized. If it was the swan he's referring to, it's totally different to hypnosis and the process of getting someone into hypnosis, obviously, because you're wide awake for one thing and you're looking at your hand. But I have been doing a lot of experiments with it, and I found about 1 in 5 people are able to do this. Some of my colleagues or peers that use this a lot will have much higher results than me. I have no idea why, because I do exactly the same thing pretty much. But that's what I've experienced anyway. So it's not for everybody. And that could be just the fact that their unconscious mind does not want to present itself, you know.
Not playing today. Not playing.
Today. Maybe tomorrow it will. Maybe tomorrow it will.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of playing today, let's see who else is playing on SPT. I've got my role back as Queen of the Links. I love it. Let's see who else is playing today when it comes to the SPTV family as we take a deep dive into what's coming up in the not too distant future on SPTV. And we'll be right back after this. So for the second time today, Richard, roll VT.
Help Spiritual Psychics TV grow our TikTok channel. Connect with us at SPTV UK. We're on a journey to reach our next milestone, and we need your help. Follow us today and support us going live. Imagine getting personalised readings, discovering your card of the day, and so much more. Don't miss out on the opportunity to explore new adventures with us. Follow, engage, and transform. Join our growing community at Spiritual Psychics TV with @SPTV UK on TikTok.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more, available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
Join Minty May live tonight from 8 p.m, offering tarot and mediumship readings to our viewers.
Tune in tomorrow from 6 p.m. UK time for SPTV's community show, hosted by Stace Shaw and guests. Join in for engaging topics, readings, workshops, latest gossip, and more, all designed for viewer participation.
Are you looking for some spiritual love or relationship guidance? If so, then join Jennifer Rose tomorrow from 8 p.m.
And we're back. We're here. And Karen has just been recovering from her session with the wonderful David, who, bless his heart, we're going to be doing some readings in a minute. But so David has got an appointment, so he's going to be nipping off. But thank you so much, David, for a wonderful, wonderful morning. It's been really informative.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. And thank you personally, David, for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been lovely to meet you. It really has.
And you as well. And if anyone's watching, want to get in contact with me, they can find me on my website, www.freedominduk.co.uk. So
Right there.
Hey!
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you, Richard, in the background, for inviting me on. And thank you, Karen and Nick. Bless you both. Bless you.
Pleasure.
Bless
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
Keep plugging on, mate. Keep plugging on. And be in
Absolutely.
touch about that video.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Catch you later.
Take care, mate. See you soon.
Bye.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Bye.
Bye, mate. Well, you know, we must remind people, of course. I've got to say that new video for the TikTok is
yes,
absolutely pretty. I sat watching it during the ad break. That new advert for the TikTok is amazing. So please do remember, go and follow and join in on, so we can get live on TikTok too and show the TikTok world how the SPTV family rocks.
absolutely. We only have we have 520 followers now, and we need to get to 1,000. So there is a competition, I believe, for people that follow TikTok. It's to win a private reading with the host of your choice. So please do it, because we need to get out there in TikTok land. We really do.
You know, I was just
so thank you know, thank
live
you for
on
doing
a
that. Absolutely. So
He did. Bless him. Bless him.
oh, bless him.
We could just hear David, bless him, getting
We
all
could.
excited.
We could.
Absolutely. So do go along with that competition, because it's a brilliant opportunity to pick one of your favorite SPTV hosts for a reading. Completely buckshy, just for following and commenting. You know, we don't ask for much. You know, following,
No.
commenting, sharing. It doesn't cost anything. Which reminds me, we don't ask for stars, even though Facebook says we do. So don't send them.
No.
An update on the advert, of course, that tonight with the wonderful Minty May, you've got the lovely Helen Rogerson, who's going to be doing that wonderful psychic art that we saw way back on the birthday show. Her art is just stunning. So she will be working with Minty tonight when the time cometh. And we also have to promote, or we want to promote, I should say, the lovely Wayne Almond, who's doing a 6-week development course. Details on your screen right there. It's a 6-week interactive online Zoom program designed to teach you the basics of working with spirit, along with your spirit guides, and it will be focusing around chakras, spirit guides, the clair senses, energy work, grounding and protection, psychic readings, and much more learning. And there he is, the lovely Wayne Almond. So the details are there, facebook.com/loved.ones.75033. Wow, I can actually read today. That's progress. So if you're interested, then do hop along to that web link there and learn some more from the lovely Wayne. But we, my lovely,
yes,
our SPTV family, some connection of a different.
We do. Do you know, it's been fascinating today. The show's been. This is what I love about this show. We do something different every week, but
Absolutely.
Of course, we do love to connect with the spirit world. Because Jason loves the new advert, and he was pleased with the interesting discussion. Thank you, Jason, for popping on. Nice to see you. So we do love to work with the spirit world, and so we're going to be linking with our loved ones from spirit. So do you want to go first today, Dick?
Absolutely, because you still need to. Absolutely. Because you still need to recover from having a chat with your inner swan. And I love it. The reactions, the responses are always brilliant. And of course, if you'd like to come on and join us, take that spot that's been vacated by the lovely David as he goes off and sorts the world out. We will be connecting with spirit for people watching, but if you want to come on and we can get a link for you there as well, we will do our bestest. And of course, I am very much aware that I've got to start working now. I've been linking in. Great opportunity being off screen, hiding in the background. you know, doing the ironing, doing the cooking, doing the cleaning, just secretly sneaking away and still listening. The reason I say that, of course, is because whenever I link in, all of this random dirge that I speak is connected to the person that's coming in. And I'm very much aware that I have got someone who is very chatty, very active, very, you know, almost David-like in the energy levels, but someone who was able to balance life, someone who was able to be listening in on one conversation whilst getting on and doing other things. But also there is this element of not wanting to push themselves forward too much, because they were, thank you, yes, of course, I remember now. They were very happy and very joyful to be off screen as they was linking in with me. It's like, this is how I like it, a nice build up. This lady, as she steps forward, I was talking about the cooking and the cleaning. This is something that she would have been doing frequently whilst watching on everyone, watching the TV, watching even. So this is going to be a reasonably recent passing, and someone who was slightly more technologically au fait than the average Joe, because they would have been watching on the computer or on the telly a live stream like this, and would be sort of like doing the work and doing whatever it is that they had to do. You know, I'm even seeing a bit of paperwork going on there as well, and then was instantly able to jump in and take part in something, because they were very, very well balanced, very, very organized, extremely professional in personality. This lady, as she comes through, I'm reminded that she is, she feels very sisterly in her attitude towards whoever it is that she's coming through to. I do know that she would have passed, oh, bless your heart. I was going to say that I've got a condition around here, but as soon as I went to it, she kind of recoiled. And so I've got to say it as I see it. I feel that this lady passed of a broken heart.
Oh, dear.
This is the way she would have been described. It was almost like she passed of a broken heart. There was some loss, some emotional turmoil that meant that she just stopped being that professional, being proficient, being able to balance things. So this sisterly lady, I do feel that she would have had this lovely blonde hair. It was different styles all the time, because when she was busy and active, it was up. When she was out, it was. Oh, yes, I think that's a wonderful way of putting it. My guide just said she looks like a glamour puss when she's out. She was really able to just fit into the situation as she went along. And so if anyone can understand this lady, please let me know in the comments, because she's thank you. And she's got these we're talking about hypnosis. She's got these wonderful hypnotic eyes. They're really, I can't see the color. I can just see really, really strong and powerful eyes, and that she would just grab you with it. And coming through to basically say, you know, all of this is exactly what her problem was about letting things get to her too much. Emotions is something that she didn't balance as well as she did life, she says. So if anyone can understand that, obviously, please let us know in the comments. But she just wants to say that this is an issue that she had, because she didn't give everybody everything of herself. She did keep things about herself hidden. DJ Hopland's show. Hello there. Emma Jane, you understand that. I'm just gonna, because I've lost my headphones, so I'm just gonna turn them up. There you go. Dealt with. And that's the kind of thing that she would have done as well. You know, if it wasn't working, get rid of it. And you know, she wasn't so worried about formality, because she would use her behaviors and actions to demonstrate that things really didn't matter, but at the core of her, things really, really did. So, you know, there's that word that David used, those contradictions of her personality, which
people started to understand better after the fact. And she she says, the amount of people I've seen come on, do these sorts of things and apologize for who they were, I'm not going to. And that's who she was, and it's still who she is. She makes no apology for being herself. She does feel bad about the emotional impact that her passing had on people, especially the people that she cared about. And I'm staring directly at your viewer's name bit, so I know that you are one of those individuals. But she just wants to say, you know, that was me. It was, and we shouldn't apologize for being ourselves. And she was very much a contradiction when it comes to her emotions. But for her, you know what? I had a good life for the most part. I had good people around me for the most part. And so, you know, remember that, because you've got the same. And I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be keeping my eye on you, as I always did, and encouraging you to push yourself forward. But please don't make the same mistake I did of holding things back. And as you say, yes, thank you, and as she says that, that pain in my heart disappears. And it's like, you know, helping someone to not make that mistake is my way of that compensation. And I don't like the other word, but that compensation and consequence of life. So this is my part of my growth and development, so I can be more involved in, and she's the way she said it is, the stuff like this. So she's wanting to move forward and grow and be more part of your life in a more spiritual way, which is lovely. But she'll be watching regardless anyway. And I say, with all the love in the world, she just wants me to pin a crocus on your chest. So I feel there would be a memory link there. And as I said, crocus, she also threw in April as a memory link of an anniversary around you. And with that crocus, I can't finish it. She's just turned around and she's called you her little crocus. So I don't quite know what that means, but thank you for the spot on. And my little crocus, I'll see you soon. God bless.
Oh, that's beautiful. That really is. I love the emotion that you put into your messages, Nick. It was beautiful. Okay, so let's see who I've got with me now. I also have a lady that draws close to me from the world of spirit. And I feel that she's either sister or a friend that was like a sister. And I feel that she's emotional, but there's also a shyness about her, because there was times when she'd sort of put her head down and sort of didn't want to be seen, if you like. But I feel that you and her connected in a strong way. And I know the name Paul is also connected with her, so there must be a connection with the name of Paul. She found it hard to find her voice in certain situations, and she wants to say thank you to whoever I'm connecting with, to say thank you for being there. And I've got a lovely song that my friend Neil plays, Thank You for Being My Friend, and I've just got that in my head, and I feel that there was an unworthiness about her, because I just feel that she didn't believe in herself enough. So I don't know if this is making sense to anybody at the moment, but it's like sister or a very close friend that was like a sister. And I feel that there was a time in her life that she sort of moved away from a situation where she had to let go of something. And this is what she's making me aware of. So I'm not quite sure if anybody can understand this. But you gave her the strength. I also feel here that she loved music, because I keep getting songs in my head now, like Whitney Houston, you build me up, and these are all the songs. So I feel that you must have really enjoyed music together, or she enjoyed music. So I'm not quite sure if this is making any sense to anybody. She's also drawing attention to my eyes. So I know there's something about eyes here as well. And I feel that she either had to wear quite thick glasses or there was an issue with her eyes. But she wants to say, come through and say that she's okay now. And meeting you, whoever you are out there, sort of gave her a lot of strength. Is this making sense to anybody, Richard? Has we got anybody not? Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. There's a lot, there's a lot of emotion with this lady. And I just know that whoever this is for, and Richard has just said that it could be for Terry. So she just can't thank her enough, really. Because I feel, and I've never met Terry, so I don't know what Terry's like, but this lady's laughing and she's saying, God, you sat me down and gave me such a talking to. It was what I needed at a time, but it was done in a very comforting and gentle way. So I don't know if you know that, Richard, if Terry ever sat her down and sort of gave her sort of a strong talking to help her find who she was, if that makes sense to you. Oh, right. It's Clara. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I just also feel, and I do know Clara, and I do know that she would give somebody a talking to, but I also know that there was a great deal of, okay. She's talking about unfinished business, Clara. So I feel there must have been unfinished business around this lady. And I also feel that she would give you a look, or she would give a look as if to say, don't say any more, or you know what I'm talking about. I also feel that this lady was a little bit scared at one time in her life, because I feel a sense of fear within her. I feel that there was a sense of fear, and I feel she had to really step back from a situation. But I also feel that she's going back to the glasses again. And yeah, I know that. So she's just saying that she had to step back, and you were there, and I've got a sense that she was falling. She was really sort of like a bad time in her life, and she says, thank you for catching me, thank you for being there for me. And there's a lot of emotion with this lady, and I just feel that there was she's just talking about things being said as if things, and I want to stir. So I feel that maybe things were said in the past, and I just feel that there was things stirred up. And she says, she's saying to me, you would know what she was talking about. Well, this time she's coming forward because she's giving you some strength, and she's telling you to take control, and she's also telling you to you know, to look after yourself and to take care of yourself. And she's got a really lovely giggle. It's like a really infectious giggle. And when she smiled, she's got a beautiful smile. And she had a naturalness about her that she didn't realize what a beautiful soul she was, both inside and out. And you have some a wonderful picture of the two of you together when you were out somewhere. And I feel that you've got, well, you always look lovely anyway when you go out, but you've both dressed up and you've both been going out for dinner or for one of your famous lunches. So I just feel that you two are dressed up, and she's just, okay, I understand that. She was with me before she passed, tried to take her own life 1 month prior. Okay. But she just wants you to remember the good times. She doesn't want you to, and I feel that was her personality. She would remember, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something but she's putting her head down now. She said that wasn't one of my best moments. But you know why that happened. And she's been very private, as she was a very private lady, but she just wants to reach out to you and give you all her love, and just to say, I'm still here, I'm still alive and kicking in the spirit world, and I am well again, I am free. And she says that you know what that meant. I'm free of everything, because I do feel that she was shackled at one point to lots of different situations, but she's alive and she's free. So take her love. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. What a, I'm alive and free. What a wonderful thing to say. Okay. Before we continue, we do have a question. You don't know who I am, but question time. So is it possible that my spirit could be talking to me through yourselves? I think if we go back to what David was saying, our higher self, our subconscious, our inner spirit, which is something I did a workshop on a few weeks back, it will make use of what others say as a mirror, a reflection, a mirage, to kind of get you to listen, because sometimes we don't listen to ourselves, but we will listen to the words of other people. And so I think one of the most important things to remember is that if these, and this is a phrase that I've used a lot lately, and I don't apologize for it because I used it a lot yesterday. When we notice the sympathetic symmetries of the world, of the universe, of spirit and of ourselves, it is the world of spirit, but also our higher self, our inner, because we are spirit. We are the living spirit. Our inner spirit, our higher self, our super consciousness will try and get that message to us in other means. And it may well be in the words of others. So I hope that helps answer your question, Rebecca, because I think there is a lot to be said for looking for, I used to call them the spaghetti strings of life, but the more poetic way of putting it is the sympathetic symmetry of life. So keep an eye out for them and listen, because your super consciousness, your higher self, your inner spirit is saying, I don't think you are. So I'll make things stand out bolder so that you notice them. And I truly believe that's what that is. I'm sure you've got a thought on that too, Karen, while I
definitely
my next.
Sometimes we're pulled because of we are spirit in a physical body, and sometimes we are we're guided by by that spirit, what's best for us. And quite often, if we're going through tough times and we've sent out thoughts to God and the spirit world, sometimes our own spirit has a say too. And quite often we can pick up a book, turn to a passage, and the answer's there. Sometimes you may have a conversation with a friend and the answer's there. And also you may listen to what you hear on SPTV, and you maybe just be guided to go to the right people to listen, but that spirit is strong within us. And we always look on the outside for answers, but sometimes we just look within and sit in the silence, or just be guided by your gut instinct, by your intuition, by yourself, because we are powerful, and we sometimes, our higher selves knows what's best for us better than we do. And that's how sometimes we can break patterns and think a little bit outside the box as well.
And sometimes also how we end up all arguing with our hand.
Exactly, arguing with our hand. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm never going to forget that.
No, you won't.
That just goes to show how much power we have. It's just quite really interesting. There's so many different layers of the physical, of the mental, of the emotional and the spiritual, everything that we are. We're so complex beings, we don't know ourselves. And I think that if we did, it would probably blow our minds a bit.
Absolutely.
You know, but it's been a fascinating morning from a personal point of view, as well as spending time with all the family and having David, and of course spending time with Richard and you, Nick. You know,
you too. It's been an absolute joy. And I never get bored of listening to David. He's such a bright and energetic figure that
yes, he is.
uplifts. And I never get bored of meeting you on a Monday, it has to be said. And I always enjoy having Richard in my ear, keeping on track, in check, and keeping on the straight and narrow, the best that anyone can achieve it. I mean, I'm sure Mum will probably be tapping him up for some tips, because she'll be the first to say that she has no chance of doing that, and yet he succeeds. But it's been an absolute pleasure, privilege, and honor to be with you, Karen, and you, Richard, today, and also with David, but of course our wider SPTV family. It is always something that I look forward to. As I don't know whether I said earlier online, but I very nearly didn't make it today because I kind of over talked yesterday. No, not that that would ever happen, of course. And I couldn't move my jaw, but just as I was about to say I'm gonna have to call in, I said, if you want me on there today, fix it. And I sneezed and it just chugged my jaw out and snapped the tendon back into place, so I was able to actually move it. So we didn't get your peace and quiet after all.
Yeah, but we don't want the peace and quiet. We love it when you're here. So, and it's just such a lovely show to be on and to be with everybody. And I love Monday mornings. It's one of my favorite days of the week now. That, and of course our Wednesday show, which is not on this week, but it will be on next week. So we've got our Wednesday show once a fortnight, but we're here every Monday for all our lovely family, to share the love, share the gossip, and share the news of what's been happening on SPTV, to give readings and to bring on some wonderful guests so that you can, you know, learn and grow within this journey of life that we're on.
Absolutely. And next week, speaking of guests, next week we'll be joined by the lovely Dawn Foley, who is a medium from, well, slightly lower down than our neck of the woods and slightly lower down than your neck of the woods. But we'll be joined by the lovely Dawn Foley next week for the Monday show, which of course we will be having our Wednesday one as well. And of course, tonight we have definitely got an exciting one for you, with the lovely Helen Rogerson and her psychic art joining the wonderfully enigmatic and joyful and equally uplifting Minty May. So do join in for that tonight. Don't forget, get sharing the love, sharing the feeds, and get following on TikTok.
Absolutely. We want to move SPTV onto TikTok, so it covers all the channels, so that we can grow and share the love and show everybody else what they're missing, basically.
Absolutely. Serendipity 589, me too, love Mondays.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, yes. I wouldn't be without them, you know.
No.
It's absolutely amazing. But to all of you, thank you for your time. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your shares and your comments and your chats. And yes, what 8 p.m. 8 p.m, not 8:30. That is, of course, UK time.
Yes.
For anyone who isn't in the UK. So we will be back next week. Minty will be here tonight at 8. But from all of us here to all of you out there, God bless. And Karen, love you as always.
Love you too. And lots of love to everybody out there, and enjoy the rest of your week until we meet again.
God bless.
Bye.